She went from a 25K month to I think a 70K month in about 4 months of working with me. And by month six, she had hit her very first 100K month. And she hasn't dipped since. What's up, Savages? You're listening to the Strategies of a Savage CEO podcast. I'm your host, Demi, and if you don't know me yet, it is no wonder you're not making the sales that you want to be making in your business, but that's about to fucking change. I've scaled my business to almost 8 figures in revenue over the past few years, and I've helped thousands of women make the money they deserve. Not through fluffy things like manifestation or energy work, but through real, non-BS money-making strategies that drive insane results. I'm talking things like crafting powerful content rooted in actual human psychology so that you know every single time you post it's going to convert. I'm talking about designing irresistible offers and building recurring revenue streams in your business structure. I'm talking about implementing real systems that actually scale your business into a 7-figure brand. It is time for you to go full savage mode with your business strategy to truly get the results you not only want, but deserve. So let's get into the episode. Welcome back, Savages, to another episode of Strategies of a Savage CEO. I am your host, Demi, and today we are going to be talking about one of my incredible private clients who came to me when she was making $25,000 a month inside of her business and has now had 10 consecutive $100,000 plus cash months in a row, who is on her way to 200K months being her new standard, and who just made $76,000 in cash in 11 days. This woman was on Good Morning America. This woman has had articles written about her. And so many things that I am so unbelievably proud of that she has accomplished. And the fact that I got to be in this with her on this journey of helping her build and refine her offer suite to scale, helping her with her messaging, helping her create sales in this company on a daily basis, helping her with her launches, has been such a freaking ride. And I am so happy to just be a part of this. Working with me, she also had her very first $1 million cash year in business. And just last month, she did like $123,000 plus in cash. And that was like a few days before the month was even over. This is what happens when you have the proper mentorship. But let's talk about what we did to get her here. Okay? First of all, let me tell you about where she came to me at, because I'm assuming that if you're here listening to this, you're going to resonate with this. If you're somebody who wants to make $100,000 her new normal, and right now you are hovering at that 25, 30, 50K mark, you're going to relate to some of this. When she came to me, the reason that she hired me was she was at 25K months, which is amazing, but she was capped on all of her time and her revenue, and therefore her scaling ability. She had very, very little recurring revenue, and she had to chase every single month to get those sales in to continuously hit those 20 to 25K months. Okay. Each month she was starting, she felt like a frazzled energy, right? She wasn't really sure where to focus, what to sell, what she needed to be doing in order to scale. And she just kind of came up against like hitting this wall every single month at the end of the month, right? Where her income didn't budge, even if she tried different things, even if she launched new offers, even if she, had a new strategy for content that she was implementing, whatever it was, she still found herself hitting this income ceiling. And so much of it had to do with the way in which her business was actually structured, right? She had no idea what to add, what to refine in her offers, even in her messaging, to have more people inside of those offers saying yes, and still having a major focus on client experience. Because I remember one of the biggest things that she said to me when she came to me, she was like, I want to scale, but client experience can't suffer. And I've seen that that's something that you value and you teach to your clients as well. And so this is why I feel so certain in coming into mentorship with you. When she messaged me initially, she said that she really wanted to solidify her offer suite. She wanted to get clear on her voice and who she serves, right? So that she could really become one of the top in her industry. She was dreaming of, when she hired me, she was dreaming of having her first $1 million year. And of course, we did that, right? And then one of the most important things that she said was to keep sales coming in and keep things moving even when she is not working. One of the things that she said actually to me when we were initially in a conversation about mentorship is that she had gotten super sick with the flu and she was traveling and she felt like she had to pause everything for 3 weeks. Sales fell behind, and she said it was so eye-opening to me that I have not built a business that is actually sustainable. And she wanted to my support on building out her back end and again her messaging for sales to continuously come in even without needing her to be on all of the time. At the point where she came to me, and if you're listening to this right now and you're kind of feeling some of these same things, there was a solid business foundation in place. Like you have a solid business foundation. But it wasn't set up for her to actually scale and have those consistent 50 to 100K months on repeat. So, what did we do to make 100K months her standard? And in very little time after she started working with me, she went from a 25K month to I think a 70K month in about 4 months of working with me. And by month 6, she had hit her very first 100K month. And she hasn't dipped since. So here's what we did. I'm going to go through. There's about 6 things that I want to talk about. So the first thing is that we refined her entire offer suite. We simplified it, we restructured it, we priced it to scale so that there was no more questioning herself on what to sell when sales slowed down, or if they did, right? She didn't want to question that anymore. She wanted to have sales be constant. And that required us to fill gaps that were in her current customer journey inside of her offer suite. Okay. We raised those prices as well on some of her offers and restructured what that client journey actually looked like so that people were not just buying one and being done. They were going through and buying now multiple offers, right? Her best clients then naturally upgraded, and she didn't have to push that on them at all. It just flowed. And we set up the behind the scenes systems to help her manage those client upgrades. We had to redraw her boundaries. She was giving a lot of one-on-one energy to everybody, and this is why, like I said in the beginning, her time was super capped. And now, because we've built framework, we built structure, we built curriculum, we built client success metrics into her offers and her curriculum, her programs, she can now protect that brilliance, right? For those clients who are paying to actually have that one-on-one support. And all of her other offers are scaling, and her clients are still seeing epic results. They're actually seeing better results than they were when she was giving all of that one-on-one energy because at that point she was just burnt out, right? So then we had to stack launches and stack cash flow. So every launch, every sale, strategically, we had to layer to compound, right? So every single month, her income just kept getting higher. She was starting each month with more and more revenue already on the books. And then we had to take a look at our content and messaging that built authority. Now, this client in particular, she is a B2C custom niche, right? So she's not just marketing to other business owners, she's marketing to consumers. So the marketing that she had to shift to ensure that she was speaking to a woman who is not a business owner. So we had to talk about investments differently. We had to talk about the way in which they move. We had to talk about their life a little bit differently and trigger a lot of emotional responses from her B2C customer. And so we had to shift the way that she was creating that content, right? And then, of course, one of her goals when she came to me, she was like, I want to be the obvious choice. We had to position. We had to create that positioning for her. And this is why, because of this positioning that we created, she also got featured in articles, right? Because this is something different. She coined a method. She coined what she believes in. She started to really state her opinions online. And a lot of them were very controversial, especially in her industry. And then, of course, we had to build the back end, the automations, the upsells, so that she was seeing daily cash flow on repeat, even when she was offline and living her life. And this to me is what scaling looks like 100K months, working less. She's working less now than she really did at 25K months. She's predictable, stacked, sustainable income. She's no longer winging it. She's not throwing up content and hoping it sticks. She's not wondering what to sell this month for sales. She has a crystal clear strategy, and every action that she takes now compounds. Every action that she takes all leads to her signature offer where people are coming in and it's ultimately scalable, right? Every piece of content, it's calling in the right client. This is what happens when you master messaging, when you master your brand, when you master your positioning, when you have a proper structure offer suite that's priced for 100K months and beyond, right? When you become the obvious choice. Objections also stop showing up. Your authority shows up, right? I think it's also really important to note here just the characteristics of this client as well, because she moves. She doesn't sit on the sidelines. She didn't wait to hire me. She was actually in another mentorship investment when she hired me, but she wasn't getting what she needed. And so she was like, fuck this. Like, I'm in. I'm not waiting around for, I don't have to, I'm not waiting around for this shit. Like, I know what I want. I know I want to go fast and I know I need your help to do it. Sign me up. Put me in, coach. Right? She knew that I was the mentor she needed. She knew that she needed this strategic, intentional support. She didn't need fluffy energetics and vibes. She didn't have to check her numbers to see if she could make it work. She didn't have to think about it. She was just in. And like I said, within 6 months, she was literally making $100,000 months and she hasn't dipped down since. And I'll just say it, but the longer you wait to hire me as your mentor, the longer you're going to have these gaping holes in your strategy that are costing you thousands. You should have hired me 6 months ago, right? Don't let another six go by where you could have made double, triple, quadruple what you're making right now. I'm telling you. If you are somebody that wants real business mentorship, real fucking business mentorship that actually compounds your income, that actually builds you something sustainable and secure, and that takes all the guesswork out of it, then you need to be in my masterminds. My mastermind is meant for the scaling woman who wants my eyes and my ears and my hands on her business, who wants the real structure and strategy and support to scale, who is done with shitty investments that get you nowhere. So I think it's time that you come over to Instagram, you DM me, we talk about where you currently are, if you are feeling some of the same things my client was feeling, if you know you're capped, if you know you need to be restructured, if you know that there's gaps that are happening in your business, if you know that you're going to 100K months and you are the type of person that moves for them, my mastermind is where you need to be.